For example, churches, daycares, nursing homes, all without a repair job, and the list goes on. People are research professors find the heat inside and outside the facilities with LED lights and brighter lights inside the building and brighter lights outside for security purposes.
Yeah, they can show everybody.
And equal say 20% plus tax. That's 20 cents on the dollar. If you would like a free credit on that, the 1373 1592. That's
Yeah,
the
they want to show
1373
promotion. It's
1592.
live. I got it. That's why I want to sit over there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just get mine. You two brothers, you want to do
You listen to those guilty of 94.1 here. Yeah, this is the big problem with 01 FM.
You better switch out. Be tricky.
You can try it from that.
I got it. Okay. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to WMPR 90.1. Good morning with your girl, Chiii Jackson.
This is Jason Hubbard. And this is Joseph Holiday.
Welcome to the 90.1. This morning, we would like to go ahead and get started. We have a different rec. As I introduce myself, I'm Chiii Jackson, the founder of Babvein House and also Babvein Corporation.
My name is Jason Hubbard, born and raised in Jackson, Mississippi, and I'm here talking about my business, Molecular Hydrogen.
And I'm Joseph Holiday, new to Jackson, Mississippi, and I'm the proud founder of No Greater Love Youth and Community Missions.
Okay, this morning, we're going to go ahead and get started with you this morning, Mr. Holiday.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell us a little bit about your mission and how did you get started?
Well, my mission is I'm a poster child of what we're dealing with today in society in terms of our African American community and the underlying circumstances that we're not only dealing with but overcoming. So, being the oldest of a single parent home of a mother, growing up in New Orleans, and as a consequence, I became a product of my environment, and I began to sell drugs at an early age. And that career of criminality eventually led me to be incarcerated. So during my incarcerated, the best thing a person can do is find the error in their ways, examine ourselves, and realize that in order to make atonement, we must invest in other people's future. That's where I saw the need to invest in our young people, in our community, and I started taking and bringing back our youth of New Orleans with family there. And as a consequence, after being released from prison and being an entrepreneur and a community activist, again, No Greater Love Youth and Community Missions is all about joining forces and shouldering with people like yourselves and seeing what part can we play in the solutionary process of the matter, not focus on the problems, but the solutions.
And so what are you doing to bring about that solution? Because a lot of times our motto is, I am my brother's, my sister keeper. And a lot of times we talk the talk, but we don't walk it.
Yeah.
A lot of times, a lot of communities, especially here in the Jackson community, they're not, it's all about who you know. And it's all about that crab effect. And we're not coming together to do that. So how is No Greater Love able to do that?
Well, first of all, I'm going, I like to use the example of Jesus Christ. I'm in the community, in the trenches, going to where the most needed individuals are in neighborhoods like Rebelwood and all over North Jackson, everywhere where we have these type of circumstances. And what I do is I drive up, I look for people, and I pull over, and I encounter them, and I interact with them. I find out what their needs are, what their circumstances are, and if I can't meet the need, then the place that the people that I work for, such as the Jackson Resource Center, people like Mr. Jones and other people that I've met in this city, especially the church community, the faith-based community, and business community. So I act as a liaison or connection because our people ultimately need resources.
And do you have actually like a team or sponsors or donors that people actually can donate to your program that you have going? Because a lot of times, there are many, many different mental health facilities, many counselors, psychiatrists. But one of the biggest problems is that we don't have a network, a team of people actually doing the work.
Yes.
So do you have that support and things that are going on?
Actually, I do. I've been with Mr. Jones for about 2 months. I've met him by way of a friend, Miss Ashley, and she's a African-American trucking company owner. And she asked me would I come and visit a civic group that Mr. Jones and Mr. Alexander started. And from that group, they began to mentor me and set me on my way in terms of all of the building blocks that I need to truly accommodate the needs of our community. So it's with them, I'm just starting on partaking and learning the fundraising aspect and all of the aspects where I can be funded, because I know that I'm going to take this funding and use it directly for the people with the greatest needs.
And that's one of the things, because again, people tend to forget that it takes a village to do anything, to be a business owner, to link with other like-minded or people that elevate a little higher than you to run this business and to be able to do it. So are you currently, I know you had mentioned that later on this month that you was getting ready to do some other programs about bringing the men together.
Yes.
I love what you said about, instead of the women being the breadwinner, there's nothing wrong with the ladies. I do, you would like to say rally for that. But I'll ask the question one time up here, where are the strong men at?
Yes.
So is that stuff? Because I mean, in our conversation, you was just saying something about that.
And I've been blessed to get an outpouring of support in that, and it's called Man Up, Stand Up movement.
Say that again.
Man Up, Stand Up.
Hold up, I don't think this mic on. Sherri Jones. We want Jackson, Mississippi and the surrounding areas this morning. Now, I had asked a question now, where the real men at? And so, we were blessed today with somebody. I just woke up now, didn't even have a cup of coffee. So the real men, but now what you say that again, brother?
The Real Men initiative that I started and that Mr. Sherri Jones is mentoring me with is called Man Up, Stand Up.
Man Up, Stand Up. That's not for the women now. We're gonna take a back seat for this for a moment. Explain that for me.
Man Up, Stand Up is basically an initiative where we are asking the men to recognize that for too long, our African American women have shouldered our entire race and our entire community for too long. And it's like you said, it's okay if a woman should find herself in the position to be.
Hold up now. Hold up. There's nothing wrong with that. We want the man up, stand up now.
Right.
Sister, we sisters, we tired of getting up, breaking our backs, working from 10 at night and 10 the next morning or 2 days later.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And so what we're asking the men to do is to get involved. Even though you might have a family of your own, we're asking the men to get involved in a proactive community mindset where the man up part, because we teach man means mind. A man has to have responsibility. The man is the protector and the provider.
Say that one more
of the
time.
household.
Wake up, Jackson, Mississippi. Wake up, Hines County. Whatever Rankin County, whatever county you in, you need to wake up and hear this morning. You need to turn your dial to 90.1 because we got it going on this afternoon. Go ahead on.
And that's the way the God of the heavens and the earth designed this process and this community and this family network where men, we're supposed to be out front, leading and setting examples for our children and for our women. And we look around today and we wonder why our society is so in much disharmony and discord, is because we reverse the roles of nature. And you see the women are out front, the women are leading, the women are providing. And even it's so sad to say, a lot of men are at home playing video games.
Say that one more time.
That's
Lord have mercy. We're going to have a revival here in WHPR 90.1. Shy Jackson on the mic. I'm just out of breath. I'm just so happy about it because, I had asked that question before. It's nothing wrong with being a strong, independent woman, regardless of your color, your race, your background, your gender of choice or whatever. But the thing is, like you say, it takes a real man. No excuse, not home playing PlayStation 5.
And let me be transparent about this, Sister Shy. It took God to use a man like myself, who was incarcerated in a cage like an animal for over 26 years. And during that time of my incarceration, I would watch the news, read the newspaper, and even have different tragedies in my own family to realize, I would say, where are the men? And when we realize that we losing, there are more African-American men today that are incarcerated that there were slaves in 1850. And that if we're not losing our men and our children, our young men to death, premature death, is incarceration.
There's no excuse. There are no excuses.
Out here, it means too much is given, much is required. And so that means that we have to, again, go back and look at the foundation, look at where we started, and look at in the beginning, it was always men that set the example, that led first, not last and not in the middle, but men, we're supposed to be out front, especially in this movement that we have today.
Woo! Let's turn the tables. We have and what is your age range, my ex?
Or
Your age range.
For whom we service. We want everybody, each one reach one. Everybody is included. I myself, I went and bought a truck just so I can get some.
No excuses. No excuses.
Get some young men, some young teenagers that are out in the streets that are wandering around out of me. I go and I pick up young men and some of the mentally challenged men out here, and I pick them up and I say, we're going to cut some grass so you can have a livelihood, so you can eat today.
No excuse.
So we started from the ground up, all hands on deck.
No, there's no excuse. Okay, women, we're going to take a back seat this morning. I had asked a question. I want to thank Mr. Sherri Jones, who's this radical self, for really opening up this question. What are real men at? Today's show is called, hey, we're going to promote the Black men. We're going to promote the men that are actually getting out working, not sitting home playing your PlayStation 5. Here, we also have in the studio with us today, and go ahead and let the radio audience know who you are.
How's everybody doing? My name is Jason Hubbard, born and raised in Jackson, Mississippi. I'm here to talk to men and the rest of the community about health and the importance and value of health. I've been studying health for a while, and I see that health is not really taken up to the ultimate consideration in the Jackson community. And I think being more health conscious affects having less violence, bringing a lot, cutting down on the negativity in the community, and getting back to something that we can all love and cherish and choose to sustain instead of destroy. And so with that being said, I wanted to bring my product to the community, which is JDH2 molecular hydrogen. This is my gift, I would consider, back to my community, considering the health status that we are currently in. People of all ages need to consider the value of health. And a lot of times it's not until we're sick and on our deathbed that we're looking for relief. And so I think that this product is amazing. I think it needs to be talked about more in the community, considering people having depression, numerous conditions, um, uh, things dealing with the brain, the memory, the mind, and also the health of the gut. We don't talk about the importance of gut health. You know, whenever we have a good decision, we always say have a gut feeling,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's really considered our second brain. And so understanding our digestive system, how food works, and the importance of energy, um, I think is at the top of the food chain when it comes to what people need. Athletes.
What made you get into actually coming up with JDH2?
And so I have a pretty lengthy story when it comes to my health journey. But I started, basically after high school when I stopped playing sports. Most people do. They get into fitness, bodybuilding, things of that sort. So I was a trainer for a couple years in Texas, and it pushed me to just learn more about the human body. Right. In college, I studied kinesiology, which is the prerequisite for physical therapy. And so that was kind of my basis. And maybe 5 or 6 years ago, I started to develop a study for the sustainability of the body. And I came into this research that's really not talked about in Western medicine. It's more so talked about Eastern philosophy. But I started to dive deep into this topic of molecular hydrogen that was healing people with all kinds of conditions, right? And that study led to me creating my own product um, as a form of giving back because I see a lot of people struggling with their conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And truth of the reality is a lot of the prescriptions that we take, they only cater to the symptoms and not the root cause of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Most people's root cause of their sickness is inflammation.
Yes.
Most people are inflamed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're out of the balance of what we consider homeostasis. And so when you lower your oxidative stress or your level of inflammation, you bring the body back into a state homeostasis or redox, as we call it. The ability for it to regulate itself.
Break it down for a lot of our audience that may not understand some of the terms that you may be saying.
Right. So it's all about digestion. Most foods that we eat, food is naturally supposed to convert into what we know as hydrogen troughs, right? Hydrogen troughs are releasing a secretion that is called ghrelin. Now, when you're not eating real food, when you're not eating green leafy vegetables, you're eating
McDonald's, Raising Cane,
of course, right? There's no way you can possibly convert this food into real nutrition,
mm-hmm.
which is what molecular hydrogen is. So our bodies are being suffocated, right, of real nutrition, basic nutrition, food that's supposed to enter the mitochondria, create what we know as ATP, which is the powerhouse of the cells,
mm-hmm.
right? And so most people need to understand your cells die before you do, right? This is science. And so when you go back to science class, the periodic table, the first element is hydrogen.
Mm-hmm.
It's considered the father of all elements. And that's why we can consider it a selective antioxidant because of its bioavailability.
What if you're a diabetic or if you have cancer or if you're a smoker, because I know you were dealing with that, how can someone that if you are on drugs,
right,
addicted to crack cocaine, meth, can your product help with this?
It has. And it will. There's over 1,000 clinical studies that have already been proven to get rid of conditions, extreme addictions like cocaine, alcohol, all the way down to things that we possibly can't control, like schizophrenia, Alzheimer's, things of that sort. So whatever condition you have, you just need to understand the root cause,
mm-hmm.
which is oxidative stress and inflammation. And once we understand health and wellness from that point of view, we can all deal with the conditions that we have because 8 out of 10 of us.
What about mental health? Does your product help anything mentally? Just for someone that suffers from the depression, anxiety?
It can. So I mentioned the substance ghrelin. What ghrelin is naturally supposed to do is enter the brain and create better cognitive functions, better behavioral skills. Literally, we don't understand violence is a byproduct of bad eating as well. Right?
That's deep.
Because when you're eating bad and listening to bad music, so is a man thinking, so is he. Right? So once we understand, like I said, we typically cater to symptoms, right? Modern medicine does in general, but these problems that we're having in the community, there are multiple ways to fight them. And one thing that people panic on is sickness, right? They get in a frenzy. Most people go to the doctor tell you got a couple months to live, and you think your life is already over, right? I'm big on preventative maintenance. If we can start we do with our vehicles.
Yes,
right?
we do.
We're quick to go get an oil change. You 30 miles past the limit.
Yes.
Right. But you wait until the car is almost gone to consider going to the doctor and finding out what's the next best thing you can do. And so preventative maintenance is what this product is really about. We want to prevent things before they happen. We want to create an environment where sickness can't survive.
And how can someone that's actually the audience that's listening today can actually order your product?
You can go online. Babvein Corporation .godaddysite.com is where they'll exclusively be sold. If you're having a hard time getting to the website, you can always contact me through my phone number. My phone number is 769-567-5620. And so if you need any questions, I have storefronts where you can purchase them as well as online. So we try to be very mobile with getting the product out to people.
Okay, and I also want people to know that we're also excited that you was able to team up with Babvein Corporation.
Yes.
Going into business together and actually get ready to set up a storefront in Atlanta.
Definitely.
We're ready to hit the market and being able to provide with live life, being able to help you out mentally. So there's no excuses to run around sick when you know that there's the help is here for different professions. So where can people find you, Mr. with No Greater Love? Where can they go if they want to?
Well, they can call me directly at 601-767-4316. I'm also on Facebook as Joseph Holiday. Again, 601-767-4316. Thank you.
And again, any last words?
No, I just want people to be more informed about this topic. Look it up, get on Google, type in molecular hydrogen, find out more about what's going on in your life and how molecular hydrogen can be more of a benefit to yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's no reason why, again, mentally, physically, and emotionally, you have two young Black men here actively out in the community, standing up and bringing to you the different things. There's no more sitting at home. Get your GED, better yourself. You're here today, we want to thank you. And again, Babvein House Corporation, Babvein House LLC. If you need counseling, everything, you go to Babvein House LLC 9.godaddysite.com. If you don't have insurance, we have chaplains there that we ask to give out free counseling. Again, healing starts with you. Thank you. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
I really need to promote that because we always tell people we are consistent 3 elements: mind, body, spirit.